My name is Kathleen Tozier, and I currently run SheWise Revolution, which is a business targeted at women that live with chronic pain, depression and anxiety, high levels of grief, and helping them learn to navigate that and not make it their identity and be able to move forward from their pain and depression and create passionate lives they love, pursuing their purpose in the world in the ways that are unique to them. Before I found Fire Pole Marketing, I was just getting started in the virtual world. I had a 20-year career in the medical transcription industry that I walked away from in September of last year to pursue my lifelong dream of a business helping women. And so when I walked away from my former job, I gave myself 6 months originally for the learning curve of embracing something brand new. And I started out simply by using the Google tool and Googling online business and marketing and things of that nature. And I discovered Fire Pole, or more specifically Danny Inney's name to start with, and began to research his reputation and look at the Fire Pole Marketing blog and different things. So I was a brand new entrepreneur at that point, just looking to learn. The reason I decided to purchase Course Builders Laboratory really is more about, for me, why I purchased Audience Business Masterclass, because I did that first. When I had gone out and done my research after leaving my former position in the medical transcription industry, I discovered and purchased Audience Business Masterclass first. And I came to do that because I looked at the testimonials, I read the Fire Pole Marketing blog, I learned a great deal about the integrity and presentation that Danny Inney has himself and the Fire Pole Marketing group as a whole. I decided to purchase the Audience Business Masterclass after attending a couple of live webinars that Danny did, and I was impressed by his presentations, and so I purchased ABM. And once I went through that course and was very, very satisfied with that course, when Course Builders Laboratory came along at the beginning of this year, it was a no-brainer for me to purchase that and go through it too. The biggest revelation for me in going through the Course Builders Laboratory was figuring out how to align it with my identification with the coaching industry. When I went into the first part of the course, I was thinking of the coaching industry as being largely working with people one-on-one and developing things like ebooks and workbooks and things of that nature. Going through the Course Builders Laboratory, I began to see how I could translate the idea of virtual courses into incorporating self-paced courses for my clients, along with the higher touch one-on-one meetings and things. The Course Builders Laboratory changed my approach to building and launching products simply because I had originally gone into the whole virtual business, audience business idea of my own, expecting it would be ebooks and workbooks and largely written materials that I would be producing in order to communicate ideas with clients and to clients and having them work through their process. Building a self-paced course became a wonderful idea because the clients are able, in the off times and the wee hours, to go through materials at their own pace, watch videos and things of that nature that give them connection to me and communication with me, but don't always require my first-person presence. And I began to understand that the one-to-one counseling or networking meetings in the coaching industry, you can only scale just so far with your own time and energy and all of that. And so adding the self-paced piece for clients became something valuable to them and created more capacity for me to reach more people. I decided what offer I wanted to make by doing exactly what they teach you in Course Builders Laboratory, and that is to listen and listen and listen some more to your target audience. Get out on social media, talk to people you already know that are part of your target demographic, ask questions, listen to their responses, look for what they say the needs are, and then take those answers and those needs and translate it into the product. And for me, that meant something much higher touch than a self-paced pilot course, but because it met the needs of the people that are my target demographic, it was the perfect thing to do. There's no better advice than exactly what they tell you in Course Builders Laboratory. Network and listen and talk to your target audience and take that feedback and put it into action. The main roadblock that I hit in going through Course Builders Laboratory wasn't about the course itself. It was about translating the virtual low-touch component of building a self-paced course into something that is fitting with a high-touch industry like coaching. The women that I work with deal with chronic pain. They deal with chronic depression and anxiety. They deal with high levels of grief, and those are very, very sensitive subjects. And so learning the way to translate a low-touch course building into a higher touch industry was the biggest challenge that I faced. I largely overcame that by developing a hybrid kind of middle of the road situation where there is a greater level of one-on-one mentoring than may be typical for other industries, and at the same time providing the lower touch model materials that are recorded and documents, PDFs and so forth, that allow them some self-paced time as well. So my first group was 6 women, and each of those women paid $527 a piece for a 6-week program where we worked largely very closely together in group calls and some one-on-one clarity sessions in addition to some workbook materials. So I didn't, in this case, actually have a complete virtual course or a self-paced course. This was a very high-touch situation, and for me, the value in that was in learning where the balance would be between the one-to-one communication that the women were going to need and where I could create some virtual and self-paced materials and find a balance between those two things. And so the process of doing this high-touch, high-contact pilot was helping me clearly understand how I would structure something more permanent and gain the balance that was ideal for my particular target audience. For me, the experience of launching my pilot strangely was a bit anticlimactic, only because I didn't originally give myself enough credit. The women that worked with me in my initial pilot were, with the exception of one person, women that I've known in different contexts for quite a while, and they were people that were already cheering me on, already encouraging me to do this. And so I didn't initially genuinely feel like I had accomplished anything. After I successfully launched the pilot and Danny set me straight on acknowledging my win and my accomplishment from it, I felt terrific. I felt much more empowered to go forward. If you're considering enrolling in the Course Builders Laboratory, I would say jump in with both feet. And the single biggest thing once you do jump in with both feet is don't be shy to raise your hand. Don't be shy to ask questions. Don't be shy to reach out to the team. Join the mastermind group. Participate with your peers in the mastermind group and interact with the advisors and the folks that participate in the mastermind group. Be quick to raise your hand if laser coaching is offered. Be quick to answer the questions that are posted in the mastermind group, because the value of the course is there, and you can learn the nuts and bolts and mechanics and technologies and suggestions and ideas for creating the framework of virtual courses. There's a lot of value in the course itself, but the single biggest value, in my opinion, is in the team and in the mastermind group and in the talking and asking questions, getting your questions answered, because they always step up to bat. The only thing I'd like to add is when you go through the framework of the Course Builders Laboratory course, make it your own. Take the time to figure out where the balance is for your particular industry. You know, there are a lot of industries where exactly the way it's laid out is pretty cut and dry to follow the steps, check them off, do the work, and go and run with it. But there are other things, as you've heard from my own experience, where you need to find the way to translate it into your particular industry. Think of it as a framework. Think of it as a starting point that gives you all the valuable tools that you need, and then figure out how to put your own voice and your own spin on it.